All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the gent guitar tone and the tone that everybody's trying to find. A lot of people ask about it. I see it in forums often. I think there's a little bit of a misconception. With gent guitar tone, it's very much so a very regular guitar tone. There's nothing really special about it. It has to do with the editing. It has to do with what kind of bass tone you have behind it, and you have to have really dynamic drums to kind of piece it together. And then, you know, adding things like ambience and stuff in the background to kind of fill in here and there. But it's mostly high gate, not so bassy because you want the bass to fill that in. Some mid-rangey, not as high a gain, and you know, a lot of mutes. So, here, let me open these up real quick. So I'm using Archetype Gojira from Neural DSP. I'm using the JD Rhythm 1. These are my settings. This is where my gate sits. This is my input. Haven't touched anything here. My master level is down just a little bit, just to compensate for the high gain coming in. Same thing on the other one. Same thing. Nothing too crazy. Whoops. Let's do just the guitars first. Pretty high gain. This is a little bit lower gain. I have it automated to go down. But as you can tell, it's, you know, fairly clear. This was done on a 6-string in drop A ish. I think it's like, yeah, drop A. With the Floyd Rose system. And here's the bass on its own. And with the bass, I added a very high gain to it to give it like a bunch of crunch. Doesn't sound the best by itself, but in the mix it sounds pretty good. Like, we'll do it with the drums real quick. It's got a nice little groove to it. And we'll start adding guitars in. There we go. So that's them kind of together. On the bass, I also use the Gojira plugin, and I'm using the V-Man presets for his bass right here. I'm using Up the Dusty End of Watershed Neck V60. I didn't really change much on the cab itself. I did some stuff on the head. Come on, click. Go to the head. There we go. Gains down really low. Lows up pretty high. Mids up really high. The highs are just a little bit past noon. Master volume I have pretty high. My level I have low. I put the master up though to get a little bit more of a compressed sound, and I just touched the presence and depth a little bit. Have it running in stereo mode. And I have this big move here with the EQ. Cut off the 65 Hertz and the 16K because you don't need those. And then I just played with these a little bit until it sounded good. So that's basically my setup there. Nothing else crazy going on. No effects. I don't even have an overdrive running on this. It's just kind of running straight through the cab. So let's listen to this in a full-on like little mix here real quick. Also down here I have this clean guitar. But if I take this bass out, you'll notice something happens. It gets really hollow. Super hollow. Super full. But, I mean, that's just kind of my approach for it anyways. And then some slappy. But that's not really what we're here for. We're more talking about how like the bass kind of ends up gluing that guitar tone together. And the drums help with that too, being dynamic and being split across both channels, like left and right. You kind of get to hear like that wash between both sides. And having the kicks be really, really heavy and the snare pop nice and good, you kind of get like a decent sound. This is unmixed. It's not finished, but it gives you a real good idea of how to get that sound. The rest comes in editing and doing moves like this. Oops. Hold on a second. Yeah, like doing moves like this. And getting rid of those. Because the gate does a pretty good job, but then you have these like these little bits. But cleaning your tracks up real good, so only the notes that you need to come through. Cutting off any undesirable transients, like these little talons here. Like this is your pick attack, and then this is string noise. So, you know, like stuff like this, because you zoom in on that real big, and then you'll start seeing some waves in there, and you want to get all that cut the fuck out of there. So you can get like a tone like that. Let's see here. Whoops. I'll bring these back. Whoops. Just to give you like a little loop to kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. Hear that like super cut off. And then add that back into the mix here. Just little tricks to play with. Use your crossfade as much as possible, just so it doesn't super cut. And then sound like really floppy, unless you're trying to get that like glitchy kind of sound. But that is it.